Hello, to those who are refugees or just watching this video for fun. This infographic will give you a full overview of the situation in the Sudan Civil War, and for the refugees, how to clear through the Canadian border as one. As we know, the current South Sudan conflict is between two parties, the Sudan Armed Forces, a telemetry part of the government and sent out by Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, and the Rapid Support Forces, a paramilitary organization which used to be operated also by the Sudanese government, but isn't the primary militia group. The RSF is led by Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo Musa, or referred to as Hamedti, leading the political decisions and commands in the RSF. These two opposing parties are fighting over primary military control over Sudan, starting from April 2023, during disagreements over the leadership integration of the RSF and SAF. As a result, millions of Sudanese flee as refugees from the gunfire, often ending up in countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, America, and closer countries like Egypt and Ethiopia. Already, however, 150,000 casualties have been reported, pushing more and more Sudanese residents to flee. Our focus today will be how to get through specific borders, and rather the Canadian border. Canada is one of the largest countries Sudan refugees often flee to, if planning to stay longer term, having over 4,000 sponsored by the government and 700 privately. Sponsorship allows for refugees to waive a travel document. The Canadian government has allowed for 3,250 to 5,000 extra refugees, totaling 10,000 Canadian refugees currently allowed in Canada. It's also the 11th country to have the most Sudan refugee applications, holding an acceptance rate of 97 to 100%. Now to the actual border clearance part. The first thing you need to check for an asylum claim is if you are already a convention refugee by another country, or have already made an asylum claim for another country. If you already have a protected status in Canada, if you have a removal order, or if you are inadmissible on security or criminal grounds. Also, if you made an ineligible or rejected asylum claim previously and entered through the U.S. border. If you meet any of these conditions listed above, you are not eligible to make your asylum claim. Once you're eligible, you must be able to meet the definition of a refugee, either a convention refugee or a person in need of protection. To meet the requirements for a conventional refugee, you must be currently in Canada and can't return to your home country because of your race, religion, political opinion, nationality, or social group. To meet the requirements for a person in need of protection, you must be in Canada and cannot return to your country because you will risk your life, face torture, or face an unusual, cruel punishment. Now that we're clear with whether you are eligible, getting through the border and collecting documents should be a smooth process, but we'll cover that in our next video. However, if you want to know ahead, a link to Canada's website will be under the description to help define what next steps you need to take. Stay tuned for our next walkthrough.